A very warm welcome to Explore Science. This is Nikita to Ease Your Learning. In the last session, we began Digestion and Absorption, class 11th, first chapter of Human Physiology. In this lecture number 2, we will cover the basic details of the various organs. In the last video, we went through the introductory part and the various organs overview that are involved in digestion. So here we will study buccal cavity, mouth. You know that we all take food from the opening, that is mouth. Also called oral cavity or buccal cavity in human anatomy. Orifice, that means the opening through which food and air enter the body. We all are aware of this. The mouth opens to the outside at the lips and empties into the throat. Its boundaries are defined by the lips, cheeks, hard and soft palates and glottis. Now this our buccal pharyngeal cavity is divided into two parts, namely buccal vestibule and the oral cavity. Let us see what is this buccal vestibule. The space between the gums and cheeks where the food is stored temporarily for some time while we are chewing it. Okay, so that portion is the buccal vestibule, hence it is the peripheral region. You can see in this diagram, it is highlighted as green. You can see this region, the space that is external to teeth and gums but internal to the lips. That space in between that region, it is the buccal vestibule. Alright, next is the oral cavity. It is the inner and central part which is surrounded by upper and lower jaw. Then it is lined by stratified squamous epithelium. We all are aware that our upper jaw is fixed. It means that we cannot move it. The free movement is not possible. Whereas our lower jaw is fully or freely movable. So from here it can be concluded that our oral cavity has four sidal covering. We know that on the both sides there are cheeks, at the base there is tongue and on the roof there is palate. Now palate is differentiated into two parts, that is hard palate and the soft palate. Hard palate is the anterior portion of this palate. It is made up of two bones. The first is the maxilla, which is also called as the upper jawbone, and the palatine bone. Then it has some ridges are there present on the ventral surface of the hard palate. Okay, some projections or the transverse ridges are present which are called the palatine rugae. Now what is the function of this palatine rugae? During the mastication of food. Now mastication, you understand, that is when you are chewing your food with the help of teeth, you are breaking down it into the fine particles. Okay, that is called as mastication. So while you are chewing the food, these rugae does not allow your food to slip off. Okay, so you can keep food for that time in your cavity, and these are well developed in carnivores. This is very important to be noted because they have to be you know that carnivores have to tear the flesh, alright, with the help of their canines. While they are doing so, the food has to be kept, or that flesh has to be kept in the cavity, and these palatine rugae help in that. Next is the soft palate. It is the posterior part of palate. It is made up of involuntary muscle, fibrous connective tissues and mucous epithelium, which is also known as the stratified squamous epithelium. Now we know that our mouth has some glands called as the serous glands. These are the modification of the mucous glands. In detail we will cover when we will study the digestive glands. Okay. So the substance that is secreted by those mucus modified serous glands, it is watery. Also you would have noticed that if you roll your tongue towards the top of your roof, the region just after your incisors or the front teeth, that portion is somewhat hard. That is your hard palate. But as you roll your tongue and move it towards the back side, you notice that that portion is somewhat soft. Okay, the anterior part is hard and the posterior part is soft. Okay. Next is the uvula, or it is also known as the velum palati. It is the posterior outgrowth of soft palate, which hangs down in the form of finger-like process. Okay. If you open your mouth wider and look into the mirror, you will notice somewhat this type of processes hanging at the very back side of your cavity. Okay, many of you would have noticed this already. So this is known as the uvula. Okay, posterior outgrowth of soft palate, or it is the extension of soft palate, finger like hanging. You can see the shape there. Now the point is that what is its function? Now we know that there are nostrils above our lips, and from the nostrils we are taking in or we are inhaling the air inside, which is just then leading to the nasal passage. So there are some pores present, okay, on the dorsal side of this uvula, okay, because it is joined with the nasal passage. So while we are swallowing our food, it prevents that entry of food in that passage. So it covers the nasal pores through this uvula during food digestion, ingestion, or while we are swallowing it. Okay. Then on the posterolateral side, there is a pair of large lymph node which is called as the palatine tonsils, or simply we call them as the tonsils. You can see in this figure the tonsils. These are pair of large lymph node. That's all for this video. In the next video, we will cover the tongue, the parts, and the portion or the basic details of the tongue we will study. If you have any doubt related to this video, you can post it in the comment box. Then if the video was helpful, hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe this channel. We will be bringing more videos to cover this full chapter in the series. That's all. Thank you.